We're live. There we go. Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. If it's Wednesday at in the 11 a.m. hour, it must be Artists and Authors Show. And we have an artist today, Ron Dzerigian. Let me figure out how to bring him in. I'm doing all the clicking myself today. Welcome, Ron. Wow, I saw some of your art. It's very impressive.
Oh,
and we're going to look at it in a second. I'm asking a million questions about it. But
cool.
Before we get too far, you're having a showing at the Downtown Artist Gallery.
That's right.
It's down on L Street. And when is the show?
Well, we're doing a art hop reception this coming Thursday evening from 5 to 8.
Okay.
Normal art hop time, and then on Saturday from 1 to 3 in the afternoon.
Okay. Now, today is, I think, February 1st.
So it's tomorrow.
If you're watching this in a month from now, don't go down there on the wrong day.
Yeah.
So it's the 2nd, February 2nd, at the Downtown Artist Gallery. By the way I know to get there, if you're in the Tower District, just head south on Van Ness. It curves into downtown. When you get almost to Ventura, you'll be spotting it there.
Left somewhere. On Mono.
Now, Ron, you want to talk about your art a little bit?
Sure. What we're looking at here is the wall with my name and several smaller pieces. Most of the works in this show are larger scale works. But this show, titled Associative Property, is a collection of abstract paintings and sculptures that I've been accumulating since the beginning of the pandemic.
Now, just give us an idea, how big are these?
So that's the one on the left, organizational strategies. That one is approximately 4 feet wide, 2 feet tall.
Okay.
The one on the right is about 2.5 by 2.5.
Okay. Now is this your sculpture?
Yeah, there are 3 sculptures. 2 of them are pictured in the images I sent you. There's one that's not pictured. It's a surprise for when you come to the show. And those sculptures I've always used in found materials and added to the found materials or interfered with the found materials to create my works, even my paintings. So the sculptures featured in this show.
There's another one, right?
Yeah, there's a close up of serious distance. This is a chair that was in my family for many, many years, and I built a plaster human form seated in the chair. And I'm probably giving too much away, but the material inside the balloon-like head is cushion material that I used from my grandparents, one of my grandparents' chairs from their old home. There are elements. I've always felt that there's an important that the use of materials is an important part of my process, but not necessarily important in interpreting the work. So,
well, I love that it's your chair.
Yeah.
Your grandparents' material from your grandparents' chair. That's very interesting.
And if you walk into the space and you don't know that, you can still bring your own experience to seeing those things.
Is this a giant piece?
Yeah, that one's 9 by 12. That's it's on a canvas. It's an oil and acrylic and house paint and spray paint painting on a painter's drop cloth that I've been using for many, many years.
All of your pieces have some sort of legacy.
Yeah, that's part of the driving force behind me making work, and I've sort of grown to understand that a little bit more since I've been making visual artworks. The use of found or sentimental materials revised and given sort of new life through manipulation and intervention is a pretty intense drive for me.
That's great. You probably see things all over driving down the road, and you say, "Look at that! I want to get that and work it into something." Yeah,
that's funny you said that, because I mentioned in my artist statement actually the significance for me of driving around the valley. I mean, you're from here, you know what it looks like when you drive around and seeing all the debris. And part of my thinking process is how do we interpret that debris? How do we interpret what we own even, and what we claim to own or claim to understand or appreciate or not appreciate? So that's part of my aesthetic. Yeah.
Do you have a lot of stuff stored, ready to go into art, or you turn into art right away?
Yeah, my wife has a lot to say about that. I try not to store too much. I try to reuse materials, and in fact, it's sort of an interesting. I might be giving too much away here. An interesting aspect of this show is that starting a couple years before the pandemic and a little bit during the pandemic, previous owners of some of my older works dating back to 2001, 2002, 2003, no longer felt the need to keep them in their collections, and they contacted me and said, "Do you want these back?" And part of that was a bit heartbreaking, as you can imagine.
Sure.
But I thought this is an opportunity. It took me a while to figure out that it was an opportunity, and to treat my own work as that debris was challenging and exciting. And so some of the paintings, I'm not going to say which ones, are
the reworking of an older work.
Reclaiming discarded materials again.
That's a fascinating story, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm just thinking, like, here, I don't want this anymore.
It's rough.
Oh boy, yeah.
It's rough, but the name of that one, the sculpture Serious Distance, the title of that comes from a serious acknowledgement of distance, whether it be time or our space between us and an object, or us and an experience. And so looking at a mattress by a canal and thinking about that as an object in a space is the same. I had to sort of take the same approach with looking at works that I had made, 20 years ago, and 25 years ago, goodness, and then reclaiming them or re-envisioning them as a new thing.
Well, do you see your work has matured over 25 years?
Well, I like it better.
Yeah.
But that doesn't. I can't really claim to know.
Right.
I hope so, but I just feel like if I like it, hopefully other people will like it, and that has changed over the years for sure.
Now, the name of the show, the title of the show is Associative Property. Is there a meaning behind that you can share with us?
Yeah, well, if you're familiar with mathematics, it's a simple rule that you take factors in a multiplication problem, for instance. The factors don't change the product, and so part of that is this. I got, my wife's a teacher, and she teaches third grade right now, and we were talking about this. And I was like, that really applies to what I'm doing here in a way, that the elements of an exhibition will always come together and hopefully create the same feeling, or the elements of objects in our lives, or memories in our lives, or the way we see ourselves. No matter what we change, no matter how we bring those things together, we will always be us, or that artwork will always be it. So that's part of it.
You're fascinating. I could talk to you for hours like this.
We should.
They only give us 10 minutes. So I want to ask more about Art Hop. By the way, here's my Art Hop rule. So I go one place, and then I work around that place. I used to try to go from Tower all the way to downtown and hit every place. You can't do it. Probably your one place would be a good place to start for me this month.
Yeah, I think I've had the older I get, the harder I find it to go to a bunch of different places. I think that this show might take the viewer some time. I'm not trying to sell people on just coming to this gallery, but Tim Padilla and Piet Ogata's space, the Downtown Artist Gallery, is a remarkable space. You could easily get lost in it, and part of the experience of going in and being with large artworks will hopefully envelop you and make you want to stay. But right across the way from the gallery is Fig Tree Gallery, Corridor 2122, Gallery 25, amongst several others, and the downtown area is a great area for art.
So there'll be plenty of spots to
Yeah.
walk to if you want to go to more than one spot. So this Thursday, February the 2nd,
Yep.
there'll be a reception and a showing and meet the artist, no
That's
doubt.
right, yeah.
That's from 5 to 8.
5 to 8, yes.
And then Saturday?
And Saturday 1 to 3. Same thing, reception. I'll be there, and the sun will be out. It'll be nice.
It'll be nice. There you have it. It's going to be sunshiny this Saturday. Now, is that it? Then your art goes out, or is it there for a month? Or?
Oh yeah, so that's a good. I'm glad you're bringing it up. The Downtown Artist Gallery is fairly unique in this regard. The artwork is showing for those 2 days, and that's it. And I kind of like that. It's you see it or you don't. And so after Sunday. Or after Sunday, essentially, it'll be taken down. So Saturday's the last day to see it.
Here's a question I've never asked on this show. How long did it take you to set up the exhibition?
It took us an afternoon. I kind of had an idea of how things should look, but Tim is an amazing preparator and curator, and it just happened fast.
It happened pretty fast. Even the big canvas hanging?
Yeah, that was a collaborative installation. Initially, I wanted it to be hanging, but the concept of suspending it like a sail at a slight angle was basically Tim's idea, and it really makes the work. You can just get right up to it or slightly underneath it. It's quite an experience.
Artist is Ronald Dzerigian.
That's right, yeah.
And the Downtown Artist Gallery. That's just some place to go. I mean, if you've not been to the Downtown Artist Gallery, you need to go there, and this is a good time to go this Thursday and Saturday, December 2nd and 4th.
Yeah. February 2nd and 4th.
December. Oh my God.
It feels like it could be December.
February 2nd and 4th. So Thursday, February 2nd from 5 to 8 p.m., and then the 4th on Saturday from 1
to 3.
1 to 3 p.m. All right.
Yeah.
We will be back with more authors and artists, so don't go anywhere. Thank you very much, Ron.
Thank you for having me, Mike.